Welcome to the Daughter Arise channel. My name is Yvonne and this channel is all about bringing you content to do with childhood sexual abuse. On this channel I share things to do with my experience of going through this childhood trauma. I also share news stories and other topics around this subject, and also as well from time to time when I'm fortunate enough I do interview other survivors and their supporters in hopes of raising awareness about childhood sexual abuse. So if this is the type of content you're looking for, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be notified of any new uploads. And if you do like the content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. So in this video I want to share with you a story I came across on the Sussex Police website. The title of the story says, "Jail for Child Sex Offender Stopped at Gatwick Airport Trying to Board a Flight to France." So as usual guys, I give a trigger warning here just because of the nature of the story. If you feel that it's something that you're not going to be able to listen to, please click off this video or come back at a time when you're able to listen to it. But it is about child sexual abuse, so please be warned before you watch this video. And it says Fabrizio Broussett was stopped at Gatwick Airport trying to fly to France to meet a teenage girl he had been sexually abusing. Broussett, 23, of Charlton Road in Croydon, came to the attention of Sussex Police in April 2025 when counter-terror officers seized his mobile phone as part of a separate investigation. The phone had no evidence of terror offences, but the police officers did find 18,000 videos, some of them depicting sexual violence of a 14-year-old girl in France, and 33,000 messages with the teenager. Broussett had images of her ID card and passport confirming she was only 14 years old, and many of the messages were degrading and sexually aggressive, with texts including in 6 days, "I am going to R-word you, my 14-year-old child." The victim was not related to Broussett. Sussex Police engaged with Interpol to conduct urgent welfare checks on the victim, who located her and made sure she was in no further danger. On May the 18th, 2025, Broussett was arrested at Gatwick Airport attempting to board a flight to Lyon in France. Further inquiries found that Broussett had visited the victim for 2 separate weeks in February and April 2025, booking B&Bs in the Saint Etienne area. There was also evidence Broussett was planning to meet her again before he was detained. He was charged with 2 counts of penetrative sexual activity with a child, 4 counts of making indecent images of a child, 3 counts of arranging and facilitating a child sex offence, and 1 count of engaging in sexual communication with a child. Broussett admitted all the charges at Croydon Crown Court on Friday the 11th of July 2025. At the same court on Tuesday the 17th of February, he was jailed for 15 years, with another 3 spent on extended licence. He was also given a 20-year sexual harm prevention order and indefinitely placed on the sex offenders register and barred from working with children and vulnerable people. Detective Constable Tasha Smith said Fabrizio Broussett is a committed offender who proactively groomed and abused a child for his own sexual gratification. The victim in this case must live with the impact of his offending for the rest of her life, but I hope her abuser, being now behind bars, can bring her some measure of comfort. And then she goes on to just thank those agencies that worked alongside the police to bring this sex offender behind bars. It is a very harrowing story to read what this guy had done to this 14-year-old girl, and my heart goes out to her. He really exploited her, abused her, and I can only imagine how difficult her life must be in the aftermath of going through such horrendous abuse. It is just shocking to me that somebody would do this to a child. Thankfully, even though what's happened, there's nothing to be thankful about, but thankfully, you know, the fact that the police intercepted the things that he was doing, because obviously they were looking at him for a different type of investigation, to do with counter-terror charges, or to do with counter-terror activities. Finding that information on his phone, you know, has saved this girl from further abuse. It would be interesting to find out, you know, how he managed to meet this girl. But, you know, just as a guess, I think that maybe it must have been to do with something to do with social media. There is a lot of, and has been actually since before the pandemic, and especially since the pandemic, lots of young people being accustomed by potential sex offenders and paedophiles via social media and the internet. And maybe, you know, he had, you know, met her via social media. This is only a guess for me, I don't know, it doesn't really say. This magnitude of messages that he sent to her, my goodness, I mean, 33,000 messages. That is a huge amount. You know, my heart just goes out to her. It's just shocking that this was happening, but I'm really thankful that the police managed to intercept, you know, him at the airport, stop him on his way to go and inflict further harm on this young girl. I think the sentence that he got is a positive sentence. I'm seeing in quite a few of these stories now where sex offenders, child sex offenders and paedophiles are getting lengthier sentences, plus being put on sexual prevention harm orders, banned from working with children. I think all these things are positive, send out a positive message to victims and survivors. That it is very surprising that he owned up to what he did. A lot of the time, people who commit these types of acts try and lie their way out of it, try to deny it ever happened. But, you know, he owned up to it. So that is something that has probably spared that young girl from having to go through giving testimony in court as well. But it's just really shocking to me, as I continue to go through some of these stories, the lengths that those who want to sexually harm children will go to in order to achieve it. So that is it for this video. I probably will do a video on sexual harm, on the prevention of sexual harm orders at some point, but I just wanted to share this story with you today. Until the next video, take care.